Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I think it's kind of loud.
I can barely hear it.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. So, how y'all doing?
There we go.
Okay.
Didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
We're in a conversation. No, I'm kidding. Hi. So. Ooh, snap. That was close. He just dropped his drink. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter Jungle.
Anyways,
So,
we thought that we would do a different style of video where we ask you to do a video response. Because it's fun.
I'm like, wait.
So, if you guys want to do a video response, we're going to put the questions in the description box.
Yes.
And whatever you want to do, just make sure that you can let us know that you did it. If you want to send us the link in the comments on our Facebook page, Totem Broom, and totembroom@gmail.com. Send us a link in all those places so that way we know that you did it in case we don't see it, because we're not narcissistic, so we don't really search our own names.
So, but yeah, this video, it's more of an interview type thing. So we're running out of ideas. Send us some ideas, people. No, we have plenty of videos to make. We're just trying to stretch out.
We're trying to make it fun.
Yeah.
So that way it's not all about us lecturing or looking at each other like, I was going to say that. No, I was going to say that.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that.
But I did say it.
So,
question 1. What brought you to practice magic?
well, it's a long story.
We got 30 minutes.
Okay.
We're doing 13 questions, so
Yeah. So what actually brought me to the practice of practicing magic was I grew up on a reservation. It was, pretty much a mostly traditional town with Native Americans. And every time something crazy would happen, it was always find a local medicine man or find a local medicine woman. And after seeing so many of them and growing up around them, it's like, okay, there's got to be another way about going about this to where we can do the work ourselves. A friend of mine introduced me to meditation and psychic development. And he used to be on my Facebook, but he had some issues and he just kind of, poof, disappeared. But, he's the one who actually got me started in it. And originally he wanted me to study stuff like ceremonial magic with Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. I'm talking about that big black book that's, by Israel Gardi. Yeah. I read the introduction and did not understand a damn word I said or read. So I wandered into the metaphysics section of a local bookstore, and I got a book on Wicca and spellcraft. My first book on magic was Scott Cunningham's Earth Power. So, yeah, and I just went from there. It was mostly for spiritual protection and stuff like that. And I expanded. What about you?
when I was little, I just had really interesting experiences. It sounds cliche with any time anyone talks about it, but it was this really interesting experience. My mom lighting candles and then me making the flames dance with her. I remember talking to the tree in front of our apartment, and that's kind of like what led me to keep looking and exploring different avenues. I was like, I want to do spells and magic too. And I would see my mom doing certain things with candles and a few different things around the house, and eventually it went on to me being like 11 years old, and it went to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't like Christianity. I grew up in a small Catholic town. So I started practicing reverse Christianity before I got my hands on anything that had to do with modern witchcraft as it is today, and went on from there.
Yeah. One thing about me when I was little too was, I was like 5 or 6, and I used to tell my mom, and I used to tell relatives this all the time, when I get older again, I want to do magic and witchcraft like I did the last time I was here. And I would tell my relatives too, last time I was here, I grew up in Kentucky and I moved to California and I learned how to do magic and witchcraft there. And I want to learn how to do it again when I get older. My mom, I used to say it all the time, and my mom had to tell me to stop saying it because I was scaring our Christian relatives. So.
Poor things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also got in trouble for like hearing voices too. They told me I was crazy. I think we went over that before.
Yeah. What is your primary method of practice?
It's going to be one of two things, or two things really. because I get lazy. Candle magic. Oh, no, 3 things. Candle magic, etheric magic, and sigil magic.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm lazy and it's the quickest ones to go about. It's not my favorite, but etheric magic kind of is because it's a lot of fun. And using powders and oils on a regular basis. Going to enhance the etheric magic.
For me, it's always been candle magic. It's easy, it's quick, and I can get it done like that. So I don't have to spend a lot of time on rituals. But I prefer, if I have time, to do a lot of like ritual and ceremonial magic.
A lot of necromancy.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get into
Yeah.
that. Quick jumping questions. Do you prefer solitary or group practice?
Oh, it depends on the situation. I like doing I've been a part of some lodges, ceremonial magic lodges, where it's all group practice, and it's okay and fine. But a lot of times I like just to be me practicing, or even if it's just the two of us practicing.
Yeah. With me, a lot of what I've done has always been solitary, or like with one other person. But like with you, I like it. But other than that, it depends on the group if I enjoy it or not. Because sometimes I'll get self-conscious, mostly because other people are like trying to outdo other people, and I'm just like, maybe I should do something bigger. I'm gonna do flash. But
Yeah.
most of the time, I usually prefer either solitary or. Alrighty.
Okay. What is your favorite form of magic?
Wait, what were we saying specifically about that?
Like traditions and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. No, that's that one.
Oh wait, my bad.
Yeah. So my favorite form of magic?
Yeah.
Probably poppet magic or herbal magic. It's just a lot of fun. Herbal magic, you can go into really everything, whether it's oils, incense, powders, baths, salves, anything you want. You can basically do with herbs, even grigri bags. You can even do poppet magic with it. Poppet magic I like just because I loved dolls since I was little. I used to always play with dolls, even as a young child. It was always talking to the dolls. I had porcelain dolls that I would talk to, and from what I remember, they were communicating back kind of like they do now as manufactured spirits.
Well, for me, it's I do candle magic. It's my go-to thing, especially if I'm doing like a lot of work for other people or helping other people. It's usually just fixing candles, because I can incorporate herbs, oils. If I want, I can put sigils or magic seals on my candles, or I can stick them on the bottom underneath the candles, like planetary seals and stuff like that.
How many paradigms have you practiced?
There's a few. Well, when I first started practicing, it was Wicca, as taught in the books. Buckland, Cunningham, Silver Ravenwolf. A lot of people, talk a lot of smack about it, but, those were some of my foundational practices, which helped me to evolve. Later on, I got more into a serious form of Wicca, which was a combination of Alexandrian, Gardnerian. And then I got into ceremonial magic from studying modern magic by Donald Michael Craig. And I got into doing like more of the ritual stuff, and then I got into working in hoodoo. While I was doing that, I also learned my tribe's form of traditional medicine work. And I also learned, a few years later, contemporary shamanism. And I also got into more witchcraft. I was taught by Raven Gramassi. And I also got into another paradigm of ceremonial magic from the Order Ashram Sophia. It's an offshoot of the Arm Solus, and I also practice some chaos magic.
So with me, for paradigms, I've used Christianity before. It's really weird, as well as Catholicism. And by Christianity, I mean like the, not Mormon or Jehovah's Witness, but like the kind that still knock on your door and they like to sing and do like the hand thing in church.
Spirit fingers.
Yes, the spirit fingers of faith. Also, I've done Satanism and Luciferianism, as well as some brujeria and folk magic within that, as well as some chaos magic mixed with witchcraft. And very recently, I began taking courses through Raven Gramassi on a more set foundation form of witchcraft rather than Reconstructionist witchcraft that I've done as well as some modern Neo-Wicca, because it was kind of fun to experiment. Also did that with some of the chaos magic. Hardy.
Alrighty.
What has been your favorite magical practice? Oh wait, and you can also always make your own paradigms too.
Yeah. My turn. What's your question? Oh. What has been your favorite magical practice?
Oh, I think meant to put paradigm, but we were playing Mortal Kombat at the time.
Yeah. Oh, what is your favorite paradigm of magical practice? That's not right.
My favorite magical paradigm?
Yes.
That's a tough one. Especially recently, I've been teeter-tottering. Probably the stuff that I've been learning with Grimassi or my own little paradigms that I've made. Because I've kind of gotten to the point where I like Luciferianism and Satanism, but I'm kind of bored with it from my personal practice. But mostly teetering between that, my own paradigms, and then Raven Grimassi's training as a favorite, but Grimassi seems to be winning.
Yeah. Talk a little louder.
Oh.
Camera's kind of far away.
Oh yeah, huh? So my favorite magical paradigms are teeter-tottering. Sorry, my arm's like really itchy right here. It's teeter-tottering between Raven Grimassi, witchcraft lessons that I've been learning, and also my own manufactured paradigms.
Yeah. For me, my favorite paradigm is, I love witchcraft. It's my primary practice, my foundational practice, so I'm always going back to that for just about everything. But I like to dabble and work a lot with some ceremonial magic. For the longest time I practiced, ceremonial magic in the Golden Dawn tradition. And then I got into the Ashram Sophia, so I switched back and forth between the two a lot. So, but yeah, those are my two favorites. If I had a choice, it's hard to say, it's a coin toss between the two. But I love witchcraft. Our altar is always set up, and very rarely nowadays I do any type of ceremonial magics because it can be a hassle, and I have to switch up my altars. It just bothers me when I can't work on the same altar. It's a me thing, so he gets after me about it all the time.
I know, I'm like, really? I was gonna do something. Never mind.
Yeah.
What was your scariest magical experience?
My scariest magical experience was the first time. Well, it wasn't really scary. It just kind of took me by surprise. I was working out of a Golden Dawn book on amulets and talismans by Nick Farrell for consecrating a talisman. And while I'm working on the talisman, the room just kind of took on a bluish hue. It was a Jupiterian talisman. And all of a sudden, I become aware of an entity on the outside of the circle. And it was like one of the archangels, and I was like, whoa. And then it lasted for a few moments, and then it just faded out and the room turned back to normal. It was more of a shock than anything.
I think my scariest, or like the one that took me by surprise too in a similar way, was when it was first like going from transition of reverse Christianity into like actual witchcraft when I was younger, was trying to call on elemental spirits and spirits of the land. And that's whenever a satyr appeared in my bedroom as I was going to bed. Horns and all. It was kind of hot, but at the same time it was kind of scary. I was like 14 and I was like, hey, wait, who are you? Wait, is it your turn?
Yes. What has been your happiest or funnest magic experience?
My happiest or most fun experience? I think the most fun I've had practicing was working with spirits and being able to make them manifest in a shadow form to other people who don't have the sight and are not near anything that I've made. And also being able to work with the spirit of the dead to mess around with an environment that I'm in, just because it was kind of fun. Yeah. I'm trying to think, but that's the best I could come up with. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, my funnest experience is when I do a money spell and I gotta pay the bills. No. But no, the funnest thing I had is when I'm doing like spirit evocations and the spirits start getting snarky and sarcastic with me, and they're like, really? It's interesting. So those are usually pretty fun. Well, for me they are. But yeah, no, it's just some of the successes that I've had where it works out exactly. And I was like, ooh, and I get all giggly and, you know, flighty about it.
Okay, I thought of mine.
Okay.
Sorry. So we were doing a invocation ritual. I'm not going to say who, but I was talking to the entity that you invoked, and I kept saying, like, can you speak in English or write in English?
Oh.
And then I look at it, and it was reversed writing after he had been writing pages and pages of everything backwards and reversed. And I looked down at it, and it's saying, this is English, learn to read.
Yeah.
I was like, English goes left to right. You did not just call me stupid. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
That was. Do you do work for other people?
Yes, I do work for other people, but I'm very particular about who I take on as a client. You know, I don't do like random curses or hexes are on people and everything like that. You know, if it comes down to that, it's got to be justified.
Mojo usually does approval.
Yeah, but you know, when I do work for other people, it involves divination, and you know, can it be done through mundane means, or can it be through, you know, is magic needed? You know, so I always do divination first. So I've had clients come to me who are convinced that they were cursed because they couldn't get because their lives were crazy, and I throw the cards, and the cards are just like, nope, this person's just lazy, and they have no ambition, and stuff like that. And it comes up, and I just say it like it is in a reading. So they don't often like it, but you know, I don't go against what the divination say.
I stopped doing work for other people when I moved here to Arizona.
Yeah.
Too much drama.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I always get people texting me in the middle of the night, you know, and everybody's always having an emergency. And
I don't mind helping you. I just don't like taking on people.
yeah, it's a lot of work and can be very stressful, especially when you're trying to help somebody get results and you're stressing out about it. But they're the ones who are their own biggest obstacle. You know, a client recently who this has happened to, where they're trying to get money and prosperity for their business, but it doesn't seem to be working out.
I know.
So come to find out that they were writing their petitions wrong. So it's like, okay, it's all about your petition and how you write it and what you state. So. What is the hardest part of doing work for other people? I think I just answered that one. So
Yeah.
go.
So you did just answer it. So the hardest part about when I used to do work for people was that they would try to get me to do work for all their friends, or that they didn't want to pay me for any of the work that I did for them. So it was just a matter of being used, and I got really sick and tired of it. And then there was the whole, well, it's a spiritual gift, you should do it for free. I'm like, no. Yeah, I'm supplying everything. You need to cover supplies as well as my time, because most of it is you complaining. It's not saying everyone is. It was that previous person that made me stop wanting to help other people with magic.
Yeah, and you know, doing readings and work professionally, a lot of the times too, I've noticed that I've become a counselor, a spiritual counselor for people, and just helping them through their problems, helping them out, and it's a lot of work. You know, I like doing work for other people, but you know, I definitely started putting a limit on it because of how hectic and crazy it gets. People want everything done right there and like that, and they expect everybody's having an emergency.
I already feel like a therapist where I work now. With
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to hear all the other problems. Damn, that's a lot of problems.
Yeah, so, and definitely drawing the line between friendship and clients. That's
Yeah.
always a biggie.
Yeah, they always try to add you on Facebook, and then it comes to, well, can you just do it?
Yeah, and then they expect everything to be done for free, and it's like, no, you gotta pay me for my time, because I could be using my time to do something else for me.
Helping someone else.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't be charging. You know what? And this is the way it was explained to me. Money has become like, you know, money is a sacrifice that is made for the work that you're doing.
You used to be chickens.
Uh-huh. Yeah, in the old days, you know, gifts were given to the people who are doing work. You know, like livestock, goats, sheep, milk. Something has to be given in exchange. Some people say it's an exchange of energy, but you know, it's, you know, a lot of it too is just about, you know, what is this person willing to sacrifice to get what it is that they're wanting.
It really shows the appreciation of what's being done. If they think that it's just done like that, then they're not going to even appreciate it even whenever they get it.
Yeah. So, you know, and then they end up just taking advantage of it, or you, and no, if somebody can be drowning me in their problems, then...
Mm-hmm. Or like they get it and then it's nowhere what they thought it would be, and then they try to blame you for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's a kind of a, you know,
It
iffy subject.
gets touchy.
Yeah, so, yeah, but yeah, I do charge for my work. I don't take on everybody as a client. So it all depends. I choose my battles. Let's put it that way.
What do you think of cyber magic? Look into our eyes.
Cyber
Jedi
magic.
mind tricks.
Right. Cyber magic for me. I never really got into it. I think the most I've gotten into cyber magic is drawing sigils and putting them on my Facebook page, or putting them on my phone and sending it in a text message and stuff like that. I know back in the late 90s, early 2000s was really popular. And there's some books that I have that have actual code, HTML coding for creating online egregores and stuff like that, which is interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I never really got into the practice. So.
I'll do it like on a whim for like small things, basically like launching a sigil like him, but I'll do it on Facebook, I'll do it on Instagram. My favorite place I've noticed that it gets like a real jump start is when I post it on Tumblr with very popular tags, even if it's not related to it, especially if it's adult related tags, because everyone that's looking that up is already in a heightened energetic state, so they view it and it adds energy to my sigil, especially since we all know what people look at on Tumblr. And also I'll do the same thing. Instead of posting actual sigils, I'll use emojis for that as well, or post a picture of something else, or project energy into a picture and upload it. But this can make your phones really get messed up if you're projecting it onto the picture on the phone, rather than just creating the image for them all to feed as they look at it.
Yeah. And when we do ritual work too, we have to keep our phones out of the room. 1 year I went through 5 phones.
Now T-Mobile charges you extra for replacements.
Yeah, T-Mobile required me to get insurance on my phone and all this other stuff because I kept breaking phones and they couldn't find anything wrong with them. And I'm like, oh no. So, question 12. Which do you prefer, street clothes, robes, or Skyclad when you're doing rituals or with you're doing group work?
I feel like this is the equivalent of boxers, briefs, or commando. So, when what? Within a group?
Yeah.
It depends on the group, because honestly, I'm indifferent on all three. If it's hot, I'd rather be naked. If it's a little chilly, then I'd prefer robes. And I just like to wear robes in general because it puts you in that mind frame. Helps you to get into the altered state of consciousness easier. If you're uncomfortable working with other people in the group in Skyclad, then don't do Skyclad. Or if it's kind of like awkward, you don't want to be in Skyclad, or if it's outdoors and you're technically not on a private property, it can be indecent exposure, so be careful with other people finding you, especially if it's like a public park. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't be stupid.
For me, it depends on this. It depends on the situation. Like when I do full moon rituals, I like to do Skyclad. If it's just me or the 2 of us. We've done Skyclad with a couple of groups before, but these are people that we knew personally, and
it's not like we've found like a group online looking to do magic ritual out in the woods away from everyone. Tell no one. Bring no clothes. Don't go.
Yeah, that's just asking for trouble. They could be serial killers.
Yeah, or like you're gonna get into like a lot worse, probably, where you're like, I should have died.
Yeah, but and other times I'll use robes, especially if we're doing a public circle and we have guests over. We'll wear robes.
Make sure everyone has a robe before they get here.
Yes. If they don't have robes, then I'll
accommodate as best we can.
Yeah, because we have a couple of extra guest robes and stuff like that. Not the best fitting, but it works.
It'll hold up for the right.
And when I'm doing just like general work, like fixing stuff for clients, I'll usually wear street clothes. Like candle orders, or if we're making oils.
It's like high school witchcraft all over again. You're on the go, you cast that circle.
But yeah, I like all 3.
So. I like being naked, but sometimes it just helps me get into that state with a robe. Okay. Number 13. Lucky day. What has been your experience with pagan communities?
Girl. The shade of it all. No. My experience with pagan communities has actually been pretty good. Every once in a while, I run into somebody who's just like a complete jerk, but I just don't let that bother me. We run Phoenix Pagan Pride, so we have to interact with the communities on a regular basis, and I'm very antisocial, so I don't get involved in any of the drama. for the most part, it's been a positive experience. If somebody starts drama, I don't get involved, and I just back off. If you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I like a lot of the people that I've met. I've made a lot of good friends and met a lot of interesting people. Some of the people I wish I kept in contact with. Some people I just avoid like the plague. So, like with any other situation, it's, you know, hit or miss.
Yeah. With me, I've had pretty good experiences for the most part. Most people are really nice. The only thing that I've noticed that it's just like meeting any other type of people. We're all people. Some are ego-driven. Some are friendlier. Some are like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and some are like his 3 stinky uncles. You just gotta learn to go with it.
Yeah.
Respect their side, and hopefully they'll respect your side too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So if you guys want, we were hoping that you guys would do video responses to this. Be as elaborate as you wish. It's just our camera gets really wonky if we go over a certain amount of time, so we're trying to fix that. If you have any suggestions for future videos, or you have specific questions for us to answer, then don't be afraid to ask. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you don't like us, goodbye, have fun. It doesn't really affect us.
Feel free to share videos if you have any suggestions. Email us, message us, put them in the comments down below. I think that's it, and we're probably going to do another video here in a few minutes, and we're going to get this one loaded up later on. Well, you guys will see it when it's online, so. But we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
As we try to do it